students, welcome to class of chemistry. We are studying 12th standard chemistry lesson number 10 halogen derivatives. In last video we studied SN2 mechanism, that is bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. In today's video we will study unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction, that is SN1 reaction. So let's see the example with reaction. CH3C, CH3, Br and CH3. This is tertiary butyl bromide. When reacts with nucleophile, it gives CH3C, CH3OH and CH3 plus Br minus, that is halogen. So it gives the product tertiary butyl alcohol. So this is the reaction of SN1, that is substitution nucleophilic unimolecular reaction. Why it is called unimolecular reaction? Let's see in the reaction mechanism. First see what is the rate of reaction depended on. So in this reaction, rate of this reaction is depend on concentration of CH3 thrice C and Br, that is on this substrate, on this reactant. So rate of this reaction is dependent only on the one reactant, that is tertiary butyl bromide, and not on the nucleophile, that is OH minus. So first we'll discuss about SN1 reaction, then we'll see the difference between SN1 and SN2 reaction. So in SN1, the rate of reaction depends only on the one reactant, that is tertiary butyl bromide, which is only one reactant. So this reaction is called as unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. So the reaction between tertiary butyl bromide and hydroxide ion to give the tertiary butyl alcohol follows first order kinetics. Follows first order kinetics. As the rate of reaction depends on only one reactant, it follows first order kinetics. Concentration of only one substrate appears in the rate equation. So SN1 has two-step reaction mechanism. SN1 has two-step reaction mechanism. That is, first step is a slow step and second step is fast. In this slow step, CX bond breakage or CX bond cleavage occurs, that is CX bond is break in first slow step and then carbocation is formed as an intermediate, and then in the second step, that is fast step, carbon and nucleophile bond is formed in this fast second step. So this reaction, that is SN1 reaction, undergoes two steps. First slow step, second is fast step. In slow step, the bond breakage or bond breaking of CX bond takes place, and in fast step, bond formation of carbon and nucleophile takes place. Let us see the reaction mechanism of SN1 reaction. First, as a more electronegative atom. This Br takes both the electrons from this bond and leaves the carbon, and formation of carbocation takes place. Here tertiary carbocation is formed. This is the intermediate carbocation. This is tertiary carbocation plus Br minus, as it takes both the electrons from this carbon as well as this bond, it gets negative charge and tertiary carbocation is formed. So this is the first step, and this is a reversible step. This step is a reversible step, and in next step, that is in second step, that is fast step, this carbocation forms bond with nucleophile, that is OH minus, and this is fast step. This is slow step. This is fast. In this step, nucleophile uses its electrons to form bond with this tertiary carbocation and forms bond with this carbocation to give the product tertiary butyl alcohol. So this is the reaction mechanism of SN1 reaction. It is two-step reaction. It is very important in this reaction that this is the two-step reaction. First step is slow step, it is reversible, and second step is fast step and it is irreversible. In this, product is formed, and in first step intermediate is formed, which is tertiary carbocation, and tertiary carbocations are more stable as it has 3 alkyl groups to stabilize the carbocation by plus I effect and hyperconjugation by these hydrogens. So let's see the silent features of SN1 mechanism. Silent features of SN1 mechanism. So it is a two-step mechanism. CX bond undergoes heterolysis in slow and reversible first step and forms planar carbocation like this. So this is the planar carbocation which is formed as an intermediate in the SN1 reaction mechanism. Third one, attack of nucleophile on the carbocation takes place in second step to form the product. Fourth one, when SN1 reaction is carried out at a chiral carbon in an optically active substrate, the product formed is nearly racemic. This means SN1 reaction proceeds mainly with the racemization. That is, both the enantiomers, that is D and L of the product are formed in almost equal amount. In this reaction, if the reaction is carried out at chiral carbon, the products are formed, two products are formed which are enantiomers, and that is called as racemization. Racemic products are formed, two products are formed, that is D and L. Mixture of D and L enantiomers is formed, that is called as racemization, and the products are at almost equal amount. Fifth one, the nucleophile can attack on planar carbocation from either side, which results in the formation of both the enantiomers. So at this carbocation, nucleophile, that is OH minus, can attack from this side also and from this side also. So therefore, as the nucleophile can attack on this carbocation from either side, either from this or this side, two enantiomers are formed as a product. So these are the silent features of SN1 reaction mechanism. Now let's see the factors influencing SN1 and SN2 mechanisms. So these are the factors influencing SN1 and SN2 mechanism. So I had made 3 columns here. First factors, second column is SN1 mechanism and SN2 mechanism in the third column. So first factor is substrate. SN1 is favored in tertiary halides than in primary halides as it proceeds through formation of carbocation. No steric hindrance is observed here. Carbocation is stabilized by plus I effect, that is positive inductive effect, and also by hyperconjugation of alpha hydrogen atoms from the 3 alkyl groups. Rate of alkyl halides towards the SN1 mechanism is tertiary alkyl halide is more reactive than secondary, and then secondary alkyl halide is more reactive than primary. So this is the rate of alkyl halide for the SN1 reaction mechanism. Let's see for SN2 reaction mechanism about the substrate. Substrate as a factor influencing the SN2 reaction. So SN2 reaction is favored in primary halides. SN1 reaction is favored in tertiary halides, but SN2 reaction is favored in primary halides as transition state in SN2 is pentacoordinate. Here transition state is planar carbocation, and in this SN2 transition state is pentacoordinate carbon, that is crowded. So rate of alkyl halides towards SN2 mechanism is primary alkyl halide greater than secondary, and secondary alkyl halide greater than tertiary alkyl halides. This can be easily shown in these diagrams that these are the pentacoordinate intermediate stages and these are the carbocations. So primary pentacoordinate carbon, secondary pentacoordinate carbon, and tertiary pentacoordinate carbon. These are the 3 primary, secondary and tertiary pentacoordinate carbons. So in this, crowding and destabilization increases in SN2 from primary to tertiary. Here destabilization increases as the crowd increases. Crowd means alkyl groups attached to this pentacoordinate carbon increases from primary to tertiary. So destabilization increases. That means stability of this pentacoordinate carbon is decreased as it goes from primary to tertiary. It is stable in primary and it is less stable in tertiary as it is crowded from all the 3 sides, that is 3 alkyl groups. Here in primary, both these carbon atoms are pentacoordinate carbon atoms are primary. This is less crowded, this is primary but less crowded as it is only surrounded by 1 alkyl group and 2 hydrogen atoms with a nucleophile and a halogen atom which is partially covalent. So these have partial minus signs. Both these nucleophile and halide atoms have partial minus signs and these are partially covalently bonded with this carbon forming a pentacoordinate carbon atom. So this is also shown in this carbocation. Primary carbocation is less stable but tertiary carbocation is more stable as plus I effect and hyperconjugation helps to stabilize the carbocation. So steric relief and stabilization by plus I effect, that is positive inductive effect on hyperconjugation of alpha hydrogens increases from primary to tertiary in SN1 reaction. In SN1 reaction, intermediate is carbocation, but in SN2 reaction, intermediate is a pentacoordinate carbon. So we are seeing pentacoordinate carbon as an intermediate in SN1 reaction, sorry SN2 reaction. So here in SN2 reaction, tertiary pentacoordinate carbon is less stable, but in SN1 reaction tertiary carbocation is more stable because of alpha alkyl groups or alpha hydrogen atoms, which helps them to stabilize by hyperconjugation and plus I effect. Next factor is nucleophilicity of reagent. Rate of SN1 is independent of nature of nucleophile. Attack of nucleophile is after formation of carbocation intermediate in SN1 mechanism. And in SN2 mechanism, a more powerful nucleophile attacks the substrate faster and favors SN2 mechanism. And third factor is solvent polarity. SN1 reaction proceeds more rapidly in polar protic solvents than in aprotic solvents. SN1 mechanism proceeds more rapidly in polar protic solvents than in aprotic solvents. But SN2 mechanism proceeds through aprotic solvents than in protic solvents. So these are the factors influencing SN1 and SN2 mechanism. Some important points on solvent polarity. Protic solvent means that have hydrogen bonding, the solvents like H2O. Aprotic solvent means the solvents that don't have hydrogen bonding. A polar solvent, that is a good ionizing solvent, stabilizes the ion by solvation. Solvation of carbocation is relatively poor and solvation of anion is particularly important. Anions are solvated by hydrogen bonding solvents, that is protic solvents. Let us see some important points on nucleophile. Nucleophile is a species that uses its electron pair to form a bond with carbon. Next point, nucleophilic character of any species is expressed in its electron releasing tendency. Nucleophilicity is expressed in its electron releasing tendency, which can be correlated to its strength as Lewi's base. Third one, a negatively charged nucleophile is more powerful than its conjugated acid. Here conjugated acid, let's take example of ROH. This is conjugated acid of this negatively charged nucleophile RO-. This is the stronger nucleophile or powerful nucleophile than its conjugated acid ROH. Let's see the fourth point. When donor atoms are from same period of periodic table, nucleophilicity decreases from left to right. So nitrogen and oxygen are from the same period of the periodic table. Here nucleophilicity decreases from left to right, that is from nitrogen to oxygen. So H2O is less powerful than NH3. So this is the nucleophilicity, that is nucleophilicity decreases from left to right means nucleophilicity of oxygen is less. Oxygen means oxygen having compounds like H2O is less than nitrogen having compounds like NH3. Fifth point, when donor atoms are from same group of the periodic table, nucleophilicity increases down the group. Nucleophilicity increases down the group, that is iodine, that is I- is better nucleophile than chlorine. Let us see the difference between SN2 and SN1 reactions. SN2 reaction is also called as bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. SN1 reaction is also called as unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. SN2 reaction is one-step reaction. SN1 reaction is two-step reaction. Underline these words. SN2 reaction is one-step reaction. In this, carbon-halogen bond heterolysis and carbon-nucleophile bond formation takes place simultaneously. In SN1 reaction, carbon halogen bond cleavage takes place in first slow step, and then carbon nucleophile bond formation takes place in second fast step. In SN2 reaction, pentacoordinate carbon is formed as an intermediate as shown in this diagram. Two partially covalently bonded atoms are there, OH and Br. As Br, that is bromine, is having a heterolysis and OH is having bond formation with carbon. So this becomes a pentacoordinate intermediate. This is a transition state. In SN1 reaction, planar carbocation is formed as an intermediate. So here nucleophile can attack on either side of the carbocation. Fourth point, rate of reaction of SN2 reaction depends upon two reactants, that is CH3Br and OH minus, that is concentration of CH3Br and OH minus. So it is called as bimolecular nucleophilic reaction, also follows second order kinetics. Here in SN1 reaction, rate of reaction depends on only one reactant, that is tertiary butyl bromide. So it is called as unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction, and it follows first order kinetics. SN2 reaction is favored in primary alkyl halides than in tertiary alkyl halides. SN1 reaction is favored in tertiary alkyl halides than in primary alkyl halides. SN2 reaction proceeds more rapidly in aprotic solvents, and SN1 reaction proceeds more rapidly in protic solvents. 7th point, in SN2 reaction, intermediate formed is not stabilized by plus I effect, that is positive inductive effect, or hyperconjugation. In SN1 reaction, intermediate, that is carbocation formed, is stabilized by positive inductive effect and hyperconjugation. Last point, formation of product proceeds mainly with inversion of configuration in SN2 reaction, and formation of product in SN1 reaction proceeds to give the product mainly with racemization. So here we end with the nucleophilic substitution reaction. In next video we will study the elimination reaction in alkyl halides. Till then, study well and prepare the charts for difference between SN2 reaction and SN1 reaction, and also study all these things with comparison of SN1 and SN2.